champagne poppin'. This is the Sweetbitter After Show.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, everyone. Hi, ladies. Welcome, viewers, and everyone listening. This is the Sweetbitter After Show, episode 4. We are so excited to be here. I'm your host, Louisa Sharramathyan, and tonight we're missing Taylor. We love you, Taylor.
We miss you.
Yes.
We miss you. We love you,
yeah, exactly. But it's okay because I'm joined with Mia.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here.
And
finally.
Chelsie.
Hi, everyone. Glad to be back.
Yeah, and next week we will have a full panel, but today it's 3 of us. And I just want to say we love this show. We are true fans. We're just psycho over it.
Yes.
Yeah, we're obsessed. But before we dig in, I do want to say we have a fun special segment that Mia has planned for us. We have some great news and gossip, which Chelsie delivers. You know, overall thoughts. First of all, I have so much to say, but I want to know your overall thoughts about the show and about this episode, and what was like your first impression.
So I will say I read the book. So
What?
seeing the show is wild.
Yeah.
It's crazy to see what they do differently, what they do the same. In my opinion, what they get right, what I'm like, that's not wrong. And I'm like, ooh, that's a fun change. So it's fun to see all the different storylines, and I was catching up on, like I told you guys, on the previous 2 episodes that I missed. But I love that you said that, you know, they're trying different storylines for all the characters, and they're not just focusing on Tess. They focus on Tess in the book. So I love that it's new things I haven't seen before.
Right.
And I also love that it's set in the 90s. They make it so, like, seeing it visually, because in the beginning of the episode, you see, they don't make it obvious, and even in the book, they don't say it, but all the references, so you see AIM, like, Sasha's on AIM. Messenger.
I thought it was in 2000.
It might be 2000. Right. Wait, you're so right. I think it's in 2000s. I know I said 90s in my head. I'm like, ugh.
2000.
But it's early 2000s.
Yeah.
You're right. But it's early 2000s, and it's like AIM, and you see flip phones. Like, she's on her flip phone.
I was just telling her.
But you don't, like, see it in the book, so it's, like, good to see it.
Well, don't they always say the book is better? Like, what do you think, in your opinion? Do you still think the book is a bit better?
It's different.
Books are always different.
Different. Words are just...
Yeah, that's why I kind of don't want to read it. I haven't read the books yet.
But I have not either.
I don't want to read it now just because I don't want it to just give, like, what I'm missing right now watching the show. Because I hear that it is different, but I just don't want to have anything that's going to take away differently when I'm watching these episodes. So I think I'm going to wait after season 2, and then I'm going to read the books.
Yeah, and I'm happy that I haven't either, because, you know, when you read the book, it gives you an imagination that you already have in your mind. So now it's like the producers and everyone else is giving it to us, kind of. But I'm happy that everyone else has a storyline now.
Yeah.
I can't imagine the show without Simone and everyone else, you know. But let's dig in and talk about, you know, some vital stuff that happened this episode. I want to start off with Tess and Omar and that awkward scene. So we know she's a bit green, and she did admit that she called him and asked him out. I mean, this girl wants to get some experience, right? With her 21-year-old self. So, Mia, what was your overall thoughts about that situation and how awkward it turned out?
So, first of all, Omar's, like, sexy. I was like, oh,
fine. That's fine.
mysterious.
It's
Okay,
fine.
Omar. Okay, I'm not mad about it. But honestly, it was so awkward. But I kind of like that he called her out. Like, he was like, why are you pretending?
What are you doing?
And then someone was like, that was so awkward. He shouldn't have done that. Like, he made it so weird. And I'm like, well, why is she, like, pretending? Like, come on, ladies, get yours. I was like, Tess, you gotta learn. So you're right. She's getting experience, and she needs to know now to stop pretending and say what makes her happy and what doesn't. And someone wasn't just talking about the wine. She was saying that. So.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And then with Tess, too, it's like, just be honest with yourself. You know, I think she just need to be upfront, just saying, hey, I'm not really experienced. There's no shame with it. But instead of trying to fake an orgasm, that did not go well at all. And I think that's where the maturity level lies between Omar and Tess, where he is a little bit more mature, saying, okay, what are you doing? And I think Tess just had to be honest with him. However, with Omar, it makes me think, okay, was this just going to be a one-night stand? Because he completely blew her off after that. And it makes me realize, okay, does he not have strong feelings for her, or did he just kind of want a one-night thing with her, because I feel like if he really did like her and she's not that experienced, he would kind of want to teach her, right?
That's actually a very good point.
That's a great point.
I love that. And, just to add, we do have our live chat. So if you guys want to comment about that situation, and if you guys have had experiences like that, join in the live chat, let us know. But to add on to that, I would have wanted that too. He should have just taken her under his wing and say, hey, that's not what you do. Like, calm down, feel yourself, touch yourself, tell me what you want.
Yeah.
Because he even said, I'm not even, like, touching you and you're growling and moaning like this. Like, that was extra.
And then he was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Kind of like, that was the part where I was like, rude.
So
Maybe he was
sad.
turned off, but still it was like rude.
And I think Tess also was influenced by Simone into dating him. Because Tess is the one who said, oh, this is going to be the best sex of your life. You know what I mean? So that's why I think she just wanted to go out with him for that one night and see the situation.
And make Jake jealous.
Oh my God,
100%.
totally. Because
Totally.
Jake even asked.
She ate that up. She was like, ask me again. She loved that.
Jake even asked her how the date went. You know what? It's about time, because he's been kind of annoying with her. He's been so MIA with her. So it's perfect.
Yes.
I love it. But I know Mia has some great stuff to share about our fabulous AfterBuzz TV studios. So
Yes.
I'm going to let you do it.
Yes, hello everybody. Thank you for watching and making us the ESPN of TV Talk. We're so happy to have you here in the live chat, in the comments, giving us ratings on iTunes. So if you are watching, give us a 5-star rating, leave us a comment if you can on YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified when we have new episodes. And it's not just this show. We're all on other shows.
Absolutely.
There's shows with the new people you've never seen and you may fall in love with as much as us, but please still love us. And we're just so lucky to be here. Thanks to Keven and Maria and the amazing crew like Ryan, Bree, everybody. So we're just happy to be here, and thank you just for letting us continue to do what we do. It's exciting.
Oh, thanks, Mia. That's
Exciting.
awesome. And I always say we are a buffet of TV shows. Watch, subscribe, comment. We have a show for everyone out there. We love what we do, and we want to hear your opinions, your comments. Again, we have the live chat popping right now. About to be popping if you guys join it. So, so okay. We spoke a bit about Jake, but so Jake accompanied Tess to go to Shasha's house. And if we take it a bit back, basically what happened was we saw how Shasha was looking at, can I say it? Dick pics? Or...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Was that Grindr?
I don't know.
Well,
have no
whatever.
I
idea.
think it was chat roulette because it's the 2000s. Remember
God,
chat roulette? Chat roulette. I can't even say
There
it.
probably is no Grindr at that time, or Hinge,
Yeah,
or
maybe.
Bumble, or Tinder.
Oh, yeah.
But
Different time.
Yeah, different era. So, and then that cut off because someone called him from Russia and was dramatically crying, right? And what we understand, because we spoke earlier how we couldn't really understand the Russian, but someone got beat up back home and is in a coma, and that's why Shasha was out of work for a few days, right? So Tess decides to take Jake and they go to their house. So tell me what you guys think about that scene, Chelsie. So they go, Jake gives him drugs. It was uppers. Tess was there involved, staring at, Jake. And Jake opens up and says how you should talk about your feelings and all of that. We saw a very vulnerable side of Jake, right?
Yes,
What
yes.
did you think about that?
I like that. Well, first I was thinking, okay, Jake is being Jake because he was kind of being a little mean to Sasha, and I was like, come on, be nice to the guy, and even Tess is calling him out. But then when he's just, saying, there was even one quote that he wrote down that I really liked a lot.
I wrote it down too.
Yep, you think you know which one I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. Jake said, you can either talk about it or let it kill you. Yes.
Brilliant.
That was so
Brilliant.
good. And I think I saw a really good relationship between Jake and Sasha. I'd never seen that before because they're always kind of at each other. But what I love so much in that scene in particular is that they're really there for each other. Even if they're not close in the restaurant, because Sasha did not show up for work and, everyone's concerned. And Tess and Jake took it to the next level. It just shows how great everyone in this restaurant is really there for each other. Even though they kind of go back and forth, it seems like they're scheming. I think at the end of the day, all the staff really, for the most part, really do care for each other.
That's so true. I don't know if about you guys, but I worked as a server during college for 2 summers, and you really do crazy stuff goes on, but you're always all there for each other. Like, you become a family.
Yeah.
And it's almost like college, like, you become tied forever. Like, I still keep in touch with them.
Wow.
And you really get to have this unbreakable bond because the service industry is crazy. You go
Do
through
they
a lot.
spit inside the food?
Not
Like-
that I know of. No one at my restaurant ever did that.
Like,
The
one-
extra
I'm sure some
seasoning.
people do, but, like, not us.
Yeah,
no.
Howard
We tried
was
to be good people.
Yeah, Howard was upset with Tess today for saying that,
Yeah.
basically. But no, I agree with you, Chelsea. There was a bond. There was a bond, and the way even Tess was staring at Jake when he was napping, we know that there's a real connection between them two.
Yeah. I was just happy he put himself to use finally. Jake
right?
sometimes is so useless, and he was actually so helpful. I feel like he stepped in and knew exactly what to do. Like, he had such command in that scene. He came in, he gave him the drugs, he was like, sit down, here's what I'm going to say to you. I'm going to give you tough love, but also know, like, we're here for you. I just loved how he handled himself in that scene. It made me go, oh, like, Jake. And I was like, no.
Oh, you're like, wait, hold
I
on.
can't believe I'm like, oh, Jake.
Oh, Jake. But he knew
Yeah.
how to handle with Sasha too, like you said, handling him the drugs. So he wouldn't do that with everyone else. So again, like that's like that special bond between them two. It's saying, okay, this is how I'm gonna get out of him with that tough love. So I love how you mentioned that. That's exactly the relationship that I feel between them two.
And was it ecstasy or was it cocaine? You know, I
don't know what it was.
It's
some
just
drugs.
Drugs are so open to them. Like, oh, here, take it.
So
You know, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But okay, walking back home, Tess runs into Becky. And this is where the juice starts, you guys. So Becky basically informs Tess that she knows what's happening in the restaurant, which is a clue that, you know, she's still hooking up with Howard. So the news travels back to the restaurant. Simone decides to put Howard in a tough spot and gives him this whole, you know, speech about being a pedophile and you're old and all this stuff. How do you feel about that? And why is Simone so interested in Howard's love life? Is she crushing on him? Tell me what you think about that. Yeah.
Well, I will say, I mean, and I think I can give predictions too because the book is already not like the
show.
So it's a little different. But I will say, I think that like Simone and Howard may have reoccurring hookups.
Absolutely.
I think they do. We just don't know about it yet. That I don't know for sure, but that's just my prediction. But I don't know. I was so mad at Tess. Like, she's so young and naive, and I think we can relate to her as a protagonist. But sometimes I'm like, girl, you've got to stop telling Simone everything.
Swapping stories.
Like, truly. And then Simone took it back to Howard and was like clapping back at him, which was good for us. It was entertainment. But I'm just like, why are you telling her everything?
It's a lesson. You know what's so funny? I learned that when I was 23. I got into mess with these two friends I had because I would swap stories at that time. I didn't know better, so it's good for her that she's gonna get burned like this. Because how about you? Before I go on to the next one, what do you think about that situation?
I think it's another way for Simone to have empowerment because on the last episode, she called Maddie in when Howard wasn't acting right as the manager, and she didn't even give Howard, you know, a notice. You know, Maddie just showed up and just pretty much put everything back in line. So I think with Simone, it's kind of like, I'm going to see what I can have against him. So I still think it's some type of empowerment that she wants to have over Howard. But it could, I don't know if it's a relationship.
There's something there that's missing that we don't know.
It's a power struggle.
It's a power
Something.
struggle.
Something.
Because he even, were they in the wine cellar, he came up to her with like her bottle of champagne, right? And was like, oh, you're married champagne. And was like, I think I'm going to buy some cases. So it's constantly like,
it's funny, that was my next thing you brought up. So he did that on purpose, you know, brought out the champagne named after her husband, ex-husband, and says, oh, let's see how this is going to taste. You know, let's sell 10 boxes and all of that. And that's actually the wine tasting scene towards the end that they had, or the champagne tasting. But I want to talk about before that, like we talk about swapping stories and getting involved. Tess got involved with Heather's customers on the table. So one of the customers realized that, oh my God, this girl is so beautiful. She's African American, blah, 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 and said, are you a mix? What are you mixed with? And Heather basically said, they're asking that because they don't think black people can be pretty on their own, which was so offensive. And Tess took that on her into her own hands and ruined it and made this huge deal. I think Tess was trying to be a good friend. I think Heather overreacted. What do you think?
Well, I think she got caught in a weird position too because it wasn't like Tess went to Howard and was like, hey, guess what happened to me on the floor?
Yeah,
she turned around,
so
she was running her mouth, which was still, I guess, equally as bad.
Yeah.
And then turned around and was caught in a weird predicament and then said something to Howard, but you can tell she didn't really want to say it. So I think she just has to be careful. Like, I think, and this is so funny, this just came to me, kind of what the restaurant owner said to her, trust your instincts. And I feel like Tess's instinct was not to say it, and you can see her in that moment struggling but then she said it anyway. And that's what gets her into trouble, is not trusting her instinct.
Yes.
And there's so many times she doesn't, and that's when she ends up in the most mess. But I will say, I'm so happy that in the show, they included such a small and subtle microaggression.
Oh my
it wasn't like,
gosh.
it would be such easy writing to like, the restaurant customer says something racist outwardly, or is like, go back, wherever, or something like that. But instead they included this very subtle microaggression that I've experienced in my life, which is like small.
Wow.
But, it's like, because like I said, I worked in a restaurant, people have said so many things, and it's just like, it's good to see that they're showing, on this bigger platform that things like this are not okay. Like, I can see someone watching this and being like, I've said that. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't say that anymore. Which
it's a lesson
great.
for all of us.
Right? It's very, very informative. But I also was pissed that this is like the first... Of course, Heather, one of the only people of color on the show. It's the first really big scene we see of her. We know she's smart. We know she went to an Ivy League. But then this was like her first big plot line. It was about race. I can't stand that. Ooh. Mad at you, writer's room, for that. Wow. Really mad. Happy it was a subtle microaggression, but
I got goosebumps.
So upset. And I think an African-American woman directed this episode, which is great, but... I gotta say, I'm pretty upset about that, but happy it's in the show. We gotta talk about it. You know what I mean? So I'll take what I can get.
Wow.
But the cook also, that was like, I love when he said that line. He was like, hey girl.
Yes.
I was like, date.
Cook was so beautiful.
Yes, I called out. I was like, girl, you love your chocolate.
I loved it.
That cook was beautiful.
Yes, yeah.
Beautiful.
The whole time. She's like, oh my gosh.
I can't, like... Just gorgeous.
Yes.
Tall and hunky and just washing that dish. But, here's the thing.
He can smile.
Right? Yes. And I know they're going to have something. He loved that.
Yes.
He's like, go
Next
for it, girl.
Yeah.
But also, I hate that Heather had to kind of swallow that and say, I am a mix of Italian. Just to, like, shut them up. You know?
Yeah.
So that's just hard.
Yeah.
That's hard to kind of defend who you are every day and who you're not.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. But, I want to talk about more right now. So the champagne that Simone created and the scene that they had towards the end. So they're tasting some champagne and all of that, right? And Simone opens up a bit about her life and doesn't want to talk about it. But I'm so happy Tess finally goes in and asks about Jake and suspects that Jake's mother didn't really drown. It was suicide?
That's
So,
that's the impression.
Chelsea, is that what we're... Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what you think, too?
That's what I think. That's what I got when she's like, no, it wasn't an accident, that it was suicide. So with this episode in particular, in that scene alone, we knew more about Simone and we know a little bit more about Jake and that there is a huge history between Jake and Simone because they were neighbors growing up. So I think that is going to definitely underline into, future episodes. But in that particular scene, I have like this love-hate relationship with Simone and Tess.
Oh, yeah.
It's like one moment I love Simone and the next minute I don't trust her at all. And one of those moments, when Simone is giving Tess that feedback, but, she's asking about how Omar is with the date and everything. She's like, you got to figure out what you like and then you just tell them what you want. So that's just the only part where I do like Simone in that. And I love Simone. Usually it's so funny because I love Simone at the end of the episodes. In the beginning of the episodes, I'm just like, no, I don't like her. She's not there for anybody.
Then she
Great complex character.
Yeah.
For sure. Again, I think that was another example of like, Tess, why do you tell her everything? She gives you this much and you give her this much.
Yeah.
And it just frustrates me about Tess. That's why I love this show, is because the characters, like, I think each of them, you hate them and you love them.
Simone is incredible.
It's great. It's fantastic character development and arches to me. But, Simone's nosy. She's just nosy.
She's nosy, but also there's something about her that's not escalating her out of that restaurant, and that even Omar said that too.
Yeah.
Omar said basically you have something that Simone does not have, and she's still stuck there. And it's mind-boggling to me why Simone is still there. She's so well educated about wine and champagne and just how to be so hospitable and be the best waitress. Like, why is she still stuck there? Will we know? Hopefully. Mia?
Give us
maybe.
That's a good point, though. Because, she's smart. She's beautiful. There. She has her own champagne, for goodness sakes.
I know. And apparently it's the best tasting champagne. We want to try some.
Yeah. I don't know why she's not opening up her own restaurant or something in New York. See, that's why I feel like it's this empowerment that she has against Howard. That's why she's staying there. She's staying there for Jake, and she's staying there for some weird reason for Howard.
We're going to figure it out, but two different, not topics, but two add-ons that we should also, mention to our fans is, so Scott is back. Howard rehired him, so he's back. And also, Howard confronts Becky. How do you think that was dealt? Was that mature?
Was he trashed? He looked drunk.
I don't know. He was.
Pick her up at where she's going out with some guy and
He
just
looked
show
frazzled,
up.
yeah.
Like,
Go Becky. I mean, someone needs to put him in his place. I'm glad. It takes two people to be in this relationship, and I feel like he's still, like, saying, hey, you have to go under my terms. Are you talking to anybody? You know, honestly, you want to be in this relationship, too. So when Becky said, I'm done with you, you know, goodbye, I was like, yeah, I support her in that.
I think who was it, when Simone was like, you know, so weird about Omar, an older man, going off after Tess, a younger girl.
Oh, yep.
You know, it's all about power. That's what the note she kind of struck when she was kind of telling that story to Howard. And I think it showed in the scene because Howard was just trying to, I think, make Becky out to be immature. Like, are you going around talking about it? And she stood her ground, and I loved her for that. I think she was more mature than he was, and it showed. Like, he was going after her, trying to make her feel bad, make her feel small, and she was like, skirt. No. I also loved at the end when the guy gave that look at the end. The guy was like, when Becky was like, bye, I'm done here. And the guy was like, and like gave Howard the scout.
Howard's like,
he said, get out of here. And I was like, that's a whole mood. Howard under his breath.
Trying to be like tough.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it didn't work, Howard. Sorry.
You know, I'm also understanding from Howard's behavior, he's really trying to move on from his wife by getting rid of the orchids.
Yeah.
Well, I also think the restaurant owner said something with the flowers. She was like, they're big.
Yeah.
Remember?
Or it doesn't match.
Or maybe it was a different.
Or it's like subtle little hints that he's just trying to put the wife behind him and just move forward and all of that. But yeah, I mean, I think we covered about everything about what went down in this episode. But I'm so excited for our special segment that Mia has planned for us called
Sweet or Bitter. I believe Louisa came up with this, which is genius. I just built upon it for this episode.
Thank you.
But today's wine is actually going to be a champagne because, as we know, there's a wine lesson every episode or in between every episode with Simone and Tess. So this episode, they talk about grower champagne, and I was like, I had to rewind that scene a few times. I was like, what did she say? What did she say? And so grower champagne is basically grown on one field or one orchid. So it's hands-on production. It's farm-to-table style, and it all comes from one vineyard, not orchard. I said orchard. What is this, apples? I mean, cider? I don't know. It's a vineyard, okay? Sorry, forgive me. But yes, it all comes from one vineyard where I guess sometimes wines are mixed between grapes from different vineyards and all that stuff. But it can be the same grape or it can be different grapes from within that vineyard. Okay. And this makes it very authentic. And the good thing about this is that, again, it's authentic. You know, it's like one of a kind per bottle, but that's also the downfall is that one bottle can be great and the next bottle could be total crap.
Why?
Because it's so individual. And she talks about that too. She's like, my champagne is like one of a kind. She even says in the episode, she's like, it's very authentic.
Wow.
I think it's just because it's from different grapes, but it's like the same vineyard, but it's not the same process, I guess, where it's like very like boxed in and just like the same thing over and over.
So
it's not like
risky.
factory because like it's like hands-on production and it's also farm to table. It's not just like in a factory, you know what I mean? Or
interesting.
So it's
pulling all the grapes, putting them in a big thing, you know.
So it's risky to even sell it at the restaurants. That's why Howard has probably been a bit resistant. That's why he said, let's try out 10 boxes for now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then also another part to this, I'll say this is part 2. So we talked about this right before the episode. We were like, the episode is titled Sec or Demi-Sec. What the heck
what is that? Sec or Demi-Sec?
We're going to find out right now. So a Demi-Sec champagne contains between 33 and 50 grams of sugar, whilst a dry Sec champagne contains between 17 and 35 grams less.
Dry is less. So that's why Simone says Sec or Demi-Sec. Like, which one do you want?
Dry or sweet? So sweet or bitter? What's the answer?
Both. Makes sense. I told you we're popping some champagne, guys. Oh wow, that's awesome.
Really great.
Thank you so much for sharing
so
that.
Educated. You're welcome.
You educated us.
Next week, hopefully, we'll have some wine and champagne to celebrate.
Both, yes.
When Taylor's back. Woo! Awesome. Okay, now on to Chelsie and her news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
What's up?
All right, so for our news this week, Ella Purnell, who plays the lead, Tess, was asked in an interview why she wanted to play Tess and what grounded her to the character. Ella stated, there is a wonderful thing about being 21 and having no plan and having no idea that gives you the freedom to say you have nothing to lose. And that's how Ella fell in love with the character. You get just to play it by day And even with the script and stuff, she just kind of just went with it because she's 22. So she was 21 in the season when she first started. So in a way, she's actually going through what this character is going through, being 21 and just having no idea what she wants to do.
That's wonderful.
That is so deep. Like, her soul is so connected to her. She is that age of her character. Yeah, we had to Google her age because I was so impressed by that quote.
Yeah.
She's just so incredible. Not only, like, she's such a diverse actress, like, with her face and her emotions. She's also the face of Chanel.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. We just pulled up pictures.
Gorgeous. Wow. Absolutely stunning. Well, thank you so much for that.
Of course.
Awesome. Gosh, now it's time for predictions. I feel like we can go anywhere.
Your AfterBuzz TV.
Mia, you want to start off with the prediction?
So I think that Sasha's going to come back to work. It's going to be a lot better. And I think that now that Jake's had a little taste of jealousy, I think something's going to go down between him and Tess once again.
Ooh, okay.
I second you on that. I think things are going to start stirring up between Jake and Tess, especially after that last scene where she's just staring at him in the bed. It's kind of like she knows now kind of what she wants, I feel like, after Simone talked to her. So she's like, instead of playing games, I think I'm going to go after the guy that I really like and not try to make him jealous either. And then with Simone and Howard, I think it's starting to build up. I think definitely next episode there's going to be more light that shines between their relationship as well.
To add on to you both, I think we're going to get some answers next week. I don't know what, but I want to know more of what's going on behind Simone and Howard. I don't think Howard and Becky are done. I think they're going to still continue hooking up. I have that feeling. Oh, and Tess and Jake for sure. Something's brewing there. Absolutely.
Yes.
And I don't think we've seen the last of Maddie. I feel like Maddie might come back.
I liked her.
Yeah. And gosh, what else? Oh, and then with Sasha, something's gonna happen with her visa, with his visa again. And Tess is just gonna keep on evolving and just living her 20s, and I'm so excited. Awesome.
She's gonna be
great. Well, in the meantime, Chelsie, where can we find you on social media?
Hi, you could find me on Instagram at Chelsea Overocker, and then on Twitter at Chelsea Overocker.
You can find me on Instagram at yours truly Mia, Twitter at Hot Mess Mia, and also I have a YouTube channel. So I'll comment below.
Awesome, and subscribe.
Yes.
And you can find me on Instagram at Louisa Sharramathyan and on Twitter at Lou Sharramathyan. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.